new limited edition color drop, the return of our most popular storage bags, and a restock of the sexiest rod and the best swim bait rod in the lineup. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle Megabass Edition. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not found at any other dealer. The Hookup also offers a wide display of OSP, Evergreen, Depths, Lucky Craft, Jackal, and many more. The Hookup Tackle is owned and operated by family, is staffed by guides and verified tackle nerds who love helping anglers elevate their craft. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you stop by our showroom and check out the wonderful world of Megabass and the Hookup for yourself. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of Megabass products alone, with hundreds of other companies and new products being added daily. So next time you're looking for that hard to find bait, that color your fish have never seen before, or maybe you just want to elevate your game, look at thehookuptackle.com. Welcome back, my friends. I am Ben Kohler with the Hookup Tackle, aka the Tackle Otaku, being filmed by my buddy Jeffrey the King. Of course, we'd love for you guys to follow us on our company's Instagram, the Hookup Tackle USA. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle, where we highlight new items that arrived and also showcase important restocks so you guys can stay on top of the trends. This week, we just finished unboxing a huge Megabass Japan shipment, so we decided to dedicate this week and this episode to all things Megabass Japan that just came back in stock. So if you guys are ready, let's do it. So we're gonna start this week with the Megabass Hybrid Hoodie because I am sweating my nuts off because it's still 90 degrees here in Arizona. But as you can see, this is a very sexy jacket, right, Jeff?
That is super
Or is the model sexy?
Both.
Okay, good. So this is a amazing soft shell jacket. It is great at keeping wind out. It's going to have high water resistance, definitely not waterproof, but if you're in a light rain or you're getting mist from the boat or anything like that, it's a great way to just stay warm in that like slightly cold, think of it as like a sweatshirt type thing, but more performance. It's got great pockets, all kinds of internals. It does have a hood, but it has been out of stock for a while in the bigger sizes. If you're a small little dude with no stamina, you can certainly get away with a smaller medium, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Absolutely.
But if you're a big dude like me that wears an XL, remember you have to upsize one size in these because they're in Japanese sizing. So if you're normally an XL, go to a 2XL, so on and so forth. So they are back in stock in all the sizes in the red black, as well as the black and red. All right, I'm taking this thing off because I'm dying. All right, to let you guys in on the inside joke between Jeffrey and myself about me making fun of him having no stamina, I want to make sure you guys are all up to speed so that this doesn't become any like hateful comments below. So let me pause for a minute to enjoy these wonderful comments from Instagram. All right, so let's jump in and start with the limited edition color release from Megabass. This is the brand new Respect Series color. It is available in all the usual suspects. This is GG, Mossback, Golden Shad. This is a one-time offering from Megabass, so when these are gone, they are gone for good. Quick little brief backstory and history on this color. Well, actually, first, let's look at the color first. So this is just a beautiful kind of moss back that kind of fades into kind of like a faintish gold and then a pearl belly. So this is designed to be a bait that is visible in all water conditions, clear to slightly stained. They wanted this to look like a bait fish that would typically hang out around vegetation. So if you guys have a lot of grass or underwater vegetation, this should be a great bait to throw in and around that underwater vegetation. The idea behind this originally, this was a bait that was offered in the 110 and the X80 Trick Darter in the early 2000s. So some of you guys that are going back a ways may actually have some of these in your box, but it hasn't been produced in a very long time. So Megabass has a color called Kinkuro. It's a very bright gold. It has a black back, an orange belly. And while this is great in muddy water and really dark conditions, it's a little overpowering when the water starts to clear up a little bit and the fish start feeding on a more natural profile and more natural colors. So they wanted to create kind of a light Kinkuro, which is the original idea behind GG Mossback Golden Shad. This color eventually transformed into Champagne Kinkuro, which is now the normal colorway for this color. And once Champagne Kinkuro came, this guy kind of went away, but it's one of the favorites amongst a lot of anglers that are going back to the 2000s. So it's really exciting to have this guy back. So obviously it is available in the Evoluzion 110. It is available in the X80 Trick Darter. It is available in the Deep X 100 and 200 LBO. It's available in the ORC. It's available in the Pop X and the Pop Max. It's available in the Vibration X Ultra and the Giant Dog X. Now remember, this is a one-time offering, so once they're gone, this color will be gone again for who knows how long. So if any of those speak to you, definitely grab them quickly. All right, some important restocks to note in the jerkbait lane from Megabass. We see the return of Wagin Komoran Oikawa. This is one of our best-selling Japan-only Oikawa patterns. It's got a beautiful, just natural bait fish profile. Blueback is available in the Evoluzion 110 as well as the 110+1, so back in stock. Also, we see the return of GLX Cotton Wakasagi, also again in the 110 and the 110+1. We've talked about this dude before. It's an amazing clear water pattern, kind of a morning dawn jerkbait. Usually sells out very quickly when we get them from Japan, so excited to get those back. Also, back in stock from Japan is the return of GG Hasu. This is one of the most popular patterns in like the South and the Midwest for spotted bass, largemouth. It's a great all-around baitfish pattern, so definitely check that dude out. And then the M Blueback Oikawa is also back in stock this week from Megabass Japan. Also, we see a big restock of one of my favorite like dirty water bluegill patterns. This is M End Max. And we see the return of this guy now in the Evoluzion 110, as well as the 110+1, as well as the 110 Junior, as well as the Ito Shiner. So if that's the color you guys have been waiting on, it is back in stock in everything this week. Speaking of juniors, a couple colors. We see the return of Matt Tiger, as well as Wagin Oikawa. So a couple of JDM only colors in those guys. And then in the 110+1, a lot of you guys have really been getting on the saltwater colors. So this is GG Pink Candy and GLX Cherry Pink. Pink has definitely been like the trendy color this year. You guys have been smoking them on it, especially you smallmouth guys. So remember, if you get these saltwater colors in the +1, these are gonna be a slow sink. So you can literally let them sink down to whatever depth you want them to be in, and then you can work them there. They also work great in current. So if you guys are fishing rivers and places where you're having to work the jerkbait through some current, the saltwater colors can be great because they just kind of pull the bait down and keep it in the depth. All right, this week we also see the return of 3 of our most popular colors in the Evoluzion 110 Max LBO, Kasumi Ito, PM Hot Shad, and PM See-Through Lemon. These are great colors. Now, unlike the 110+1, the saltwater colors in this are just colors. They will still suspend or slow float or do whatever depending on your water temp and your line is. So just great all-around additions from Japan. We also see a return of all of the great hunting jerkbaits. So this is the GH70 Flatside. This is an amazing trout design jerkbait that a lot of you guys have been using for smallmouth and small largemouth as well. Great hunting, basically a take on the X70. You can see it's a very small profile, but does have a weight transfer system. It casts very simply and has just amazing action under the water. So just a good idea when you're on fish that are targeting very, very small profile bait, or if you're trout fishing, designed for that. So give those a look. And then finally, we see a return in all the good colors in the Evoluzion 95. Now, this is an unusual one that a lot of guys don't really understand because it's very similar in size to the Junior. This is Our #1 selling color in this is Frozen Tequila. It's just a beautiful matte finish that someday hopefully Megabass will transfer into some of the other baits as well. Hint, hint, if they're watching. But the Evoluzion 95 is a different shaped bait, and so what this is going to do different than the Junior is it's going to have a lot more flashing to it. So versus this thing having wide movements, it's going to have a little tighter movement, but it's going to give more profile, and then as it pauses, it quivers. So as it's twitching and moving, as it comes to a stop, it's going to kind of quiver under the water. So it just gives a little different look than what the fish are used to seeing with the Evoluzion 110 Junior. All right, some new colors this week from Megabass Japan in the Deep X 100 LBO and Deep X 200 LBO. These are some of our favorite crankbaits. They cast amazingly well. They're very tight, very responsive. So really excited to get some new colors. This is our favorite color. This is Gilco. This is our favorite bluegill pattern, I should have said. If you guys aren't familiar with the Deep X 100 and Deep X 200 LBO, it features a weight transfer system inside of it that when you cast, the weight transfer will shift to the back so that it casts literally like a bullet. I mean, you can throw this so easily, even into the wind, and then as soon as you start the retrieve, that transfers back to the front, locks in place, and then you have it's just a super responsive bait. We find that the Deep X 100 and 200 LBO work great. You don't even have to deflect them off cover. It's a great open water crankbait. They just have a beautiful tight action, very subtle, nice and quiet. There's no internal moving parts because everything locks in place. So Gilco is available. I expect this to sell out right away because everything else that comes in Gilco does. Also, the other new colors are Strike Chartreuse OB, which is a great one for that slightly stained water. We also see Wagin Hasu, which is in some of their other crankbait lineups, so great to see it finally in here. And then we also see it in Wagin Oikawa. So 4 new colors in both crankbaits this week from Japan. All right, back in stock from Japan this week are 3 of our most popular Japan-only colors in the Deep X 300. We see Eastern Chartreuse, Jacucho Shad, and End Max returning. Jacucho Shad is one of those special colors that's a nice, shiny, but yet still transparent bait. So the light's still going to go through this, and it's still going to give it a very natural profile, even though it has that real nice shine. Unlike the Deep X 100 and 200 that are pretty silent, this guy does have a big tungsten internal roller that's going to create movement and wobble and sound. So this is a great one for working that 12 to 15 foot zone and really banging around rocks and making a lot of noise. So back in stock this week. Also, we see a return of all of the SR-X and MR-X Griffons. So all the important colors that you guys have been after: Firecraw, Biwako See-Through Chartreuse, SGIU, the Killer Pinks, all back in stock. So if you guys have been waiting on any of the Griffons, take a look. We don't expect them to last long. They evaporate out of here every time we get them in, but they are all back in stock again. All right, we also see a return of the Japan-only colors in the Megabass S-Crank in the 1.2 and 1.5 sizes. The S-Crank, if you guys aren't throwing the S-Crank, this is an amazing open water hunting square bill. It's basically taken the world by storm this season. And then there are some core US colors and some Japan-only colors. So the Japan-only colors return. So you've got the GP Skeleton Blue Hasu here. You got the blue back Chartreuse back in stock. We also see Kahoku Reaction come back, and GP Fatty Oikawa returns. So those are back in stock in the S-Crank. We also see a return of the Japan colors in the iJack. So the iJack is our most popular selling wake bait. I know a lot of you guys are similar to us to where, you know, yeah, it's getting ready to be November, but it's still pretty warm. So they're still choking topwater and swim baits and wake baits. And this is just a great all-around wake bait, makes a great knock. So if you guys are fishing over grass, shallow water, you need something that moves very slow just under the surface, the iJack is amazing. So definitely check out the Japan colors in those. All right, we see a return this week of the hottest spinnerbait of the year in all the Japan colors. This is the Megabass SV3, both in the double willow and in the slow roll in the Japan only colors. So when we originally announced this, we were photographing and showing this color right here, which is Pearl Shad. This is a Japan only color. It evaporated, sold out right away, all the way through. Megabass USA out, Megabass Japan out. So this is the first re-release of this color, so if you guys have been waiting, they are available again, both in the slow roll and the double willow. We also see the return of course, Cotton Candy, the Wakasagi in the slow roll, the Ayu in the slow roll, all your favorite colors you guys have been waiting on. So the slow roll is Japan only, so that's why you don't see a lot of availability on that. Also 5/8 ounce in the double willow is a Japan only size. So if you guys have been waiting on any of those to come, if you're not familiar with the SV3, this is the new compact spinnerbait. Features a drop and delta balancing head. So basically this guy is designed to track perfectly true, maintain its compact form. It's built out of a very heavy gauge wire, so it's going to be very durable. You're going to be able to keep it down in the depths, and then the blades are specially designed to vibrate very hard the same way that a light wire spinnerbait would, but on a heavy wire spinnerbait. So definitely check that out from Japan, back in stock. Back in stock this week from Japan, we see the return of Takumi Hasu in the Pop Max. And we also have the last of the batch in the limited run of Moslaw CB in the Pop Max. So if you guys love topwater baits that can walk and pop, definitely check those out. We also see a return of GP Ghost Gill in the Vatalion. This is our #1 selling color in this, really because it's the most transparent, the most natural, so great for clear water. Just an amazing all-around color. We also see the Vibration X Vatalion return in all of the Japan colors. So if you guys have been waiting on any specific color, everything is back in stock in both the slow float and the slow sink in the Vibration X Vatalion. We also see a return of all the colors in the Slap LBO. Now, I know a lot of you guys love the Slap, especially you smallmouth fishermen. The LBO version basically just features that LBO weight transfer system that is going to shift to the back on cast. So even though this is a lighter bait, it will throw like a rocket and just very responsive. So back in stock. All right, also this week we see a return of the Megabass Pivot. Now, I know a lot of you guys are still throwing frogs. The Pivot is designed to be basically a pencil bait frog. So you'll notice it's more of a shad profile, has kind of a fin on the back versus a traditional, silicone legs from a frog. So this guy is going to walk more like an open water topwater bait, but still maintains that weedless frog profile. So very popular, a little more finessey. So as they start to wind down from being super aggressive on top, the Pivot can be a great option. So back in stock in all colors. Also see a return of my favorite wake bait in the lineup, the Gong and the Gong Junior. So all of the great colors are back in stock on this guy. We've got, of course, the Moonlight Gong. We've got the GLX Yeti. Comes back in both. We see a return, finally, of the Chartreuse Monkey, as well as the Lime Coach. So if you guys have been waiting on any of those, the Gong is obviously ridiculous looking. It's amazingly fun to catch a fish on this guy, but it was designed to be a serious hardcore wake bait. So don't dismiss it just because it looks like it has a monkey face. Well, it actually does have a monkey face, but it's an amazing wake bait. You need to hear it underwater. You need to see it in action. You guys will love this thing. All right, we see a return this week of the saltwater colors in the iSlide 135 and 185. Now, the saltwater colors are going to be faster sinking, which a lot of guys love, even in fresh water, because they give you the ability to really work the bait fast and aggressively. So while your fish are still kind of juiced and they're really active chasing shad, these can be great ideas. So tons of colors, definitely check them out. Those are back in stock. All right, we also see a return this week of the Megabass teaser hooks. Now, these are great hand-tied feathered trebles. They are available in size 6, size 4, and size 10, so you can match them to any of your favorite baits. These make great additions to jerkbaits, crankbaits, topwaters, anything that you need to just add a little feather to. Tons of colors. There's reds, whites, pro blues, khakis, brown, chartreuse, so you can really fine tune and match whatever you need. Back in stock. Also new this week from Megabass Japan is the Megabass line cutter. So kind of staying in that same, like, you know, JDM trout trend. This is a little dude, so for like your shore fishermen, or if you just need to pin some kind of cutter to your pouch or your pack, makes a very easy accessory just to pin. You can put it on a little zip or whatever you want to do, and you've got a great line cutter. We also see the introduction of the red reel protector. So this is the leather reel protector designed for bait casting reels, and this is the first time that it has been released in the red and black color. So just a beautiful way to keep your reel safe and have the Megabass logo on the side. Looks great, does a great job. In stock. And finally, we see the return of our #1 selling storage pouch. This is the Megabass clear pouch. It is available again in the large size as well as the small size. If you guys aren't familiar with the clear pouch large is great for holding your soft plastics, tools, anything like that. You can cram a ton of like Hazardong shads or whatever your soft plastic is that you love to use. That's just a great way. You can look, it's clear on both sides, so you know exactly what you have in there. So, and it's got that beautiful carbon fiber down the side, so it looks sexy and it's highly functional. The small size is my go-to for storing my smaller spark shads. So this is great for keeping my 3-inch spark shads, my screw heads. It just keeps everything nice and compact and tight. So definitely check those out. Finally back. It's been like a year since they've been available, so I think they're gonna go quick, so definitely grab them if you guys have been waiting. And while we're on the topic of storage, we see a return of the Megabass survival bag. So this is the kind of do-it-all storage bag from Megabass. Features a hard bottom, so it retains its rigidity. And it features a big open compartment that you can put tons of lunch boxes on. It has outside compartments for storage, side compartments. It's got places to put your pliers, back pockets. You can hold a lot of shit in this bag. If you watch me in any of the actual fishing episodes where we're, you know, non-boater or shore fishing or anything like that, this is the bag I use because I can bring all my stuff in there, and it's super durable. So features the Megabass hit on the side. Obviously the cool Megabass camo, back in stock. All right, so let's jump over to rods, because a lot of rods just came back in stock from Japan that you guys have been waiting on, as well as some new releases. So let's start in the Destroyer P5. This is the brand new series of rods that I know a lot of you guys are aware of. We see the return this week of a couple of our more popular models. This is the Super Destroyer. This is the F669, really designed to be an all-around use rod. Features that beautiful 3D carbon grip, gorgeous rods. So these return this week, as well as our most popular jig slash spinnerbait slash small swimbait rod. This is the Dark Sleeper. So we see the return of this guy. This is an amazing rod. It's rated for 1/4 to 1 ounce. It's got a nice soft tip. So for swim jigs, small swim baits, everything that I just discussed, this guy is great. So back in stock this week. All right, also back in stock this week, we see the return of the best swim bait rod in the lineup. I should say the best all-around swim bait rod in the lineup. This is the TS Destroyer Blackjack. Now, these came out, we had them do a special run last month. They evaporated like literally in a day. I know a lot of you guys missed out, so we had them do another special run for us. This will likely be the last batch we see of these until probably late spring or early summer. So if you guys are looking for an all-around use swimbait rod for throwing anything from a small glide bait, a 6-inch paddle tail, all the way up to like the iSlide 262, Slide Swimmer 250, this is the rod to do it. Also makes a great A-rig rod, so definitely check this out. What makes it so special is that it has a very nice parabolic bend through the middle of the rod. So it's not a broomstick, it's actually bending deep into the rod, so you get that nice load. It's gonna cast great, it's gonna load up on the fish nice, keep them pinned when they're hooked, so definitely check that out. Also, staying in TS Destroyer, we see a return of the TS Destroyer Poker. So the Poker is a 7.2. It's rated for 1/2 to 3 ounce, so it's got a huge lure rating. This is really my go-to frog rod. It has been for quite some time. It also makes a great small swim bait rod, so if you're throwing like 6-inch mag draft freestyle, that kind of stuff, this is an amazing one for that as well. So back in stock from Megabass Japan. All right, we also see a return of pretty much all the Destroyer Evoluzion models, including the Super Diablo Type L, which is our #1 selling model in this guy. This is a nice, again, 7.2. It's an f5.5. It's built like semi-parabolic. It's more of a regular taper, so it's got a nice soft tip, so it's a great rod for just doing like everything. You could throw a crankbait, you could throw a spinnerbait, you could throw a topwater, you could throw a buzzbait, you could throw a worm, you could throw a jig. So just a good all-around rod from them in the Evoluzion line, back in stock. We also see a return this week of the 2 most versatile rods in the Destroyer Carbon Head series. This is the Destroyer Carbon Head Faust and Wild Bunch. Now the Faust up top is 7.3, has a lure rating of 1/2 to 2 ounce. The Wild Bunch down below is 7.2, has a lure rating of 3/8 to 2 ounce. So these rods are really like, if you need one rod to do a bunch of different shit, one of these rods is probably going to be the option for you. The Wild Bunch is just slightly lighter, slightly softer, so better for like an all-around jig and worm rod that maybe you have to jump up to throwing like an ounce swim bait or something like that. The Faust is a little bit heavier, a little thicker, so it's going to be a better like dedicated frog rod, small swim bait rod that you could also then use as like a pitchin' type rod, skipping docks, that kind of stuff. So back again, really excited to have these back. This will probably be the last offering of these dudes in a while, so if you have been waiting, definitely check those out. All right, back in stock this week, we see the return of some of the Tomahawk series. Now this is the FMP, is the fast moving performance rod. This guy is a 6.6 full glass crankbait stick. So beautiful styling. It has that gorgeous, all glass feel. So if you guys are looking for a rod to just kind of run bank, throwing a square bill or something like that, this is a incredible option from Megabass Japan that we don't see very often, so definitely give that one a look. We also see the return this week of the Japan Destroyer in the VLC. Now this is the version Lake Casita spinning rod. This is known in the Japan Destroyer lineup as being like the all-around do-everything spinning rod. It's 6'10", it's an F3, its lure rating is a 1/16 to 3/8 ounce. So it's got that beautiful kind of soft bend through the middle, but still has plenty of power. So this rod can literally do it all. It can nose hook drop shot, it can throw a little hair jig, it can throw the Okashira head, it can neko rig. So if you're looking for one spinning rod that's super versatile to do a lot of things, definitely consider the VLC. If you follow Megabass Rods and pay attention to what has been happening with inventory over the last few months, you know that they are run over and wiped out of their most popular lineup, which is the Orochi XX. They just can't keep up with production. They've got all their production focused on the new Levante release. So Orochi is just out of stock everywhere, out of stock at the factory, out of stock at Megabass USA. So we have brought over a bunch of the Japan Orochi, which is Orochi XXX. So the advantage of XXX is that they're actually slightly less expensive, so you're going to save a little bit of money, but they have different models through the lineup. Some of them are incredibly applicable. So this is the Jade Python spinning rod, so similar to that VLC. This is kind of known as the do-everything spinning rod. Great drop shot, great shaky head, great neko rig. Again, it's going to have that kind of parabolic through the midsection bend, but plenty of power. It's got great lure rating at 1/16 to 1/2 ounce, so it's basically going to cover everything you need to throw at it. The other one that is a very welcome addition that is back in stock is the Black Elzyle. So the Black Elzyle is really the original jerkbait rod that we all threw before there was a 110 special and a jerkbait rod and all that. This was the one we threw. So it is built with a jerkbait in mind. It's got a nice fast tip, but when it really loads, it's soft to absorb that shock for those treble hooks. So definitely give that a look if you guys have been looking for an amazing jerkbait rod and don't want to wait till the end of the year or early next year for the Orochi XX jerkbait special to come back. All right, we also see a return this week of our best-selling travel rod. This is the 3-piece Triza. It is available in all kinds of baitcaster and spinning models. The Triza is a very unique multi-piece rod. It is the highest end travel rod that we sell. It is designed from the butt to the tip as 3 independent separate pieces that all come together to make one beautiful rod. It has hand-painted etching on it. Just a gorgeous rod. Comes in this nice kind of flannel sock. And then we also see the return of the Triza travel bag. So if you have multiple rods, you want to keep them all in a harder case, reels attached, you can in this guy. You can travel on trains or planes or cars or just by foot if you're broke. So definitely check these guys out if you guys are in the multi-piece rod market. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week. If you guys have any questions on anything we covered, please just drop me a question down below in the comments. Jeff will leave links to all these products in our description, so if you want to check any of them out closer, please do. On behalf of myself and my family and Jeff and Carmen and Hippie and everybody else here, arigatou gozaimasu. Till next time, peace.
We forgot to say subscribe to the channel.
Oh, man, I suck at this, Jeff. I really do. Doesn't everybody know?
No, they don't. That's the shitty part.
Oh, and by the way, if you could please subscribe to our channel, it would make Jeff very happy, wouldn't it, Jeff?
Please.
Yes.
We need subscribers.
Please do. So, thank you very much for subscribing. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.